All right, are we on?
We are on.
Okay,
Wait,
all right.
Let me just check.
Yes. So here's another installment of Peyote Moon in studio. This one is, not to give it away, but it's kind of based upon Walt Whitman.
Yeah.
And so tell me what's your inspiration for going this direction?
Well, we've tended to write albums that had themes. So, and after this last one, we did Giants and Nephilim, and
Yeah, and we did surf albums
we did
before,
we did an Americana, and,
yeah,
so I was looking for another source, another inspiration, and well, I had my book published, last year, and Whitman's a big part of the story of how I regained my sanity. You could call it how Walt Whitman saved my sanity.
And by the way, the book is right here.
So you can read the book and then hear the music.
Yes, yes.
So, and actually I did, two of our songs that we did in the past, I included some Whitman lines. So I thought, well, here's a challenge. Can you write songs using only Walt Whitman's words, lyrics, his poems? He wrote one book, Leaves of Grass, and the first installment of it came out in like 1855, and it was maybe this then. But then successive years, instead of writing other books of poetry, he just expanded on it.
Just added to it.
So, so Whitman's Leaves of Grass has become, like my book of common prayer, or to me, it's a very spiritual book. It's a very, and he knew that when he wrote it. He came up in a time in the 1840s, 50s, and 60s when the transcendentalists from New England, had kind of come up with this new, more embracing spirituality instead of the dark, puritanical stuff that we got from a century before. So Whitman wrote with this idea that he was a herald, like a herald angel. So he's very positive, and what I find about Whitman is that he encapsulates all of the best of our world religions without ever having to name them. So you could say that Leaves of Grass is like our Bhagavad Gita, what the Hindus have, because it's more in line with Eastern religions than it is with our. Well, there's only one God, and you can only go to heaven through Jesus, right? So he gives a nod to those. He gives a nod to all of them. But he embraces this idea of, let's go on a journey together and discover, who we are.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that was the inspiration. So.
And so I would assume one of the difficulties of taking somebody's work, especially poems, is they may not fit quite within the cadence of a song, of music. Yeah. I'm assuming that has to be kind of a challenge.
Yeah, that's the challenge with Whitman, because one of the things, he broke the rules. He deliberately didn't rhyme this poem.
Boy, that must have been pretty radical back then.
That was like, it was free verse, and people would go, what is this?
Yeah.
But, so he wasn't going for that. But music really influenced his whole burst of poetry. He had been a newspaper man, but he said he went to the opera in New York back in those days, and he heard one of the most famous opera singers in the world, who was doing a tour, and he said he said if it were not for the beauty of that music, there would be no Leaves of Grass.
Wow.
So music, and even when you see the names of his poems, Song of Myself, Song of the Open Road, Song of the Redwood, Song of Occupation, Song of Joy, so he just wasn't rhyming.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that there's obviously a musical inspiration. There's a musical thread, I'm assuming, to some Song of XYZ, if he has these
I think
in there.
if Whitman was alive today, he'd be doing music.
Yeah.
He'd be like Andrew Lloyd Webber or something.
Or the Eagles. Don Henley.
Right. So I didn't know if we could do this, right? So last summer I just immersed myself in Whitman I've read them for years, and I have like 6 different Whitman volumes, and things underlined in all of them. And so I just made a point of going to the beach and just absorbing and writing down and finding parts of him that would work, could possibly turn into something. So it's like a major project. So,
Yeah.
but anyway,
And look at just the notes and the scratches and the changes, and and some of that's you, some
yeah,
of it's us when we're like recording as well. Like,
yeah.
oh, we need to throw in,
Or even the chords. That's the kind of chord I'm playing here.
yeah.
Because what are you playing? I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
So then I got to go find what it's called. I think I've got at least 5 or 6 songs so far.
Well, that's great.
So,
Yeah.
and we've already recorded 3 of them.
Yeah, we've dove in already. Colin and I have kind of put our fingerprints on some of these songs already.
So that's what I did on this Cool and Composed. So I took an old track of ours and took out my vocals and whatever backing vocals were there, and I re-sang using Whitman lyrics. So
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm stealing anybody's music. I'm stealing our own music.
Yeah.
So that was an example of using, because Whitman talks about being cool. So this is one of the songs that'll be on the album.
Spotted hawk swoops by and accuses me. He complains of my gab and my loitering. I too am not a bit tame. I too am untranslatable.
And so you said it's he talks about being cool. Did he like start the word cool?
I don't,
Did he define that in
that would be
1854 or whatever?
I don't know. That would be a good study.
Yeah.
But because it's right there. He says, "Let your souls stand cool and composed."
Yeah.
So
Boy, I don't know if many people were using that phrase in 1854. I wasn't around then, but you never know. I think that's something new.
we have to look it up.
Yeah.
When did the word "cool" become?
Yeah.
Cool.
Put something in the comments below.
So that helped get us going on that, and then I took one other one of our songs. These are all his works.
A woman waits for
That's the
me.
title of one of his poems.
1 hour to madness and joy.
That's another title of his poem.
Such a transparent summer morning.
So we already had the music,
Yeah.
and I made the words work. But it's been fun. It's been a challenge.
So part of it is you're not just like taking these poems and just plopping them into the songs. In
Right.
some cases, you're taking snippets, or in this case, you took 2 titles.
Yeah.
And put it together in the first phrase of the opening verse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that. Whitman was very voluminous, so his poems go on and on. So the other song I played came straight from the last stanza of Song of Myself. I've always thought it was very cool. The spotted hawk swoops by and accuses me. He complains of my gab and my loitering. I too am not a bit tame. I am too untranslatable. I sound my barbaric yarp across rooftops of the world. So that's straight from Whitman. It doesn't rhyme, but that has a nice cadence to it.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So you've done this in the past too, right? You've used a little bit of Whitman, the taste of the touches of Whitman in the past on other songs that we've had in the past. Was it Circling?
Circling actually was another favorite, Rainer Maria Rilke. Excuse me, but I did him on Endlessly Rocking.
And okay, yeah.
I used a number of lines in the chorus or bridge or something, so we might maybe we'll put that album on this.
Yeah,
That song on this.
yeah, that's another upcoming album
Yeah.
in the works
Yeah.
as well.
So the Whitmans, so all the Whitman. My goal is to make it lines straight from Whitman. So if people are Whitman files, they'll go, "Oh yeah, he knows his Whitman."
Yeah, I've heard this before,
Yeah.
or that's the title of this, and the next line is the title of another one.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So anyway,
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one, so we're looking to kind of fill out like 12 songs. We have about
Yeah.
what, five
five
currently?
or six,
Five or
I think-
six,
I think
yeah,
we got
yeah.
6. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think as we continue to kind of record and
Uh-huh.
and you start to form these songs and then we start to contribute it, we should definitely have some more videos
Yeah.
on this, kind of the making of this as well.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good introduction to kind of so people can see how we're starting off with this project.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. All right. So stay tuned for more in the future
That's right.
as we kind of continue to formulate some of these things as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All righty. Thank you.